हाँ। हम्म। दाल तो छोटे दाल ही ज्यादा अच्छा 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 दिखा तो फिर खा सकते हैं, कि दाल होता ही इतने। हम्म। आदि मैं खाता है। Hi, good evening, everyone. I hope I'm audible. Sharing the screen. Once you are able to see the screen, just say yes in chat box so that we can start the session. Are you able to see the screen? PPT. Okay. Okay. Yesterday we discussed about work at height, and we have discussed about scaffoldings and different types of scaffoldings. And what are the various causes for the accidents? And also we have discussed about the confined space and what type of safety equipments used in confined space for the rescue. Also, we have discussed about the staircase requirements, also the mid-rail and the top rail, what will be the distance or the height has to be maintained. And we discussed about the board as well. So, 1 second, just give me a minute. I'll come back just a minute. Fine. Yes. I'm audible now. So today we are going to talk about the plant design and housekeeping. First of all, we'll try to understand what are the general principles of this planning and design. What and all to be considered while designing a specific plant or a unit. Okay. One is a good transportation facility. This is one of the principle which is required or to be considered while designing a plant. Then safe handling and storage of facilities. So for handling of the materials, whatever the materials or whatever the manufacturing process, so we should have a proper handling and storage facility. Personal and welfare facilities, like welfare facilities will be drinking water or restrooms or rest areas, a sitting area or spittoons, etc. And engineering, utility and safety facilities, like engineering will be waters or any other kind of utilities. Maybe you will get into the generator area, or chillers, or steam generations, boiler, electricity, substations, etc., etc. Walkways, stairs, platform, and ramps. So wherever required, we need a proper walkways, stairs, and platforms and ramps. Whenever it is required or wherever it is required, we have to clearly identify. Sometimes people they used to lay the pipelines and they forgot to put the staircase over the pipelines for the crossing of the staircases. Crossing of those pipelines, the people used to jump on the pipelines and they used to cross. And good lighting and ventilation. This is also one of the principle it is to be considered to avoid the major accidents in the plants. So for this also we have Indian standards based on the area where they are working with respect to shop floor or any storage area or any gangways or general area or in case of any warehouse or manufacturing process or quality area, inspection area, where we have multiple requirements with respect to the lighting and ventilation and elevators and lifting machines. So this is also one of the requirement. So as per the laws, we have a minimum or a limited amount of weights we can allow to do a manual material handling. Over that, we have to use the machineries or other lifting machines or equipments, boilers and pressure vessels, fixed and portable machinery and equipment, electrical installations, fire protection, and also other provisions with respect to health and safety like effluent disposal, water, first aid, emergency power equipments, and also emergency planning. Apart from all this, we have health and safety related. Emergency power supply, we used to call it emergency lighting. In case of any fire accident happens, which is involved in electricity, so immediately we'll shut off the electricity. So in such cases, we should need a backup power to lighten up the emergency lightings. Then other general principles for the workplace design. So workplace design will be plan the ideal, then the practical, and then plan the whole, not the detail. So in the sense, whatever is required based on your workplace design, you have to plan for it and plan for the whole, then the detail. So instead of what will happen, sometimes they plan for this half of the portion of the workplace and they will say that, okay, we'll do it later. Later we can't able to accommodate those changes. So we should plan for the whole work. Then plan the work process and equipment around the system and requirements. This is about the work process. So if you bring any one a specific equipment, So around the equipment, what and all is to be coming. So if you take any machinery, so adjacent motors will come, or any power backup, or inverters, or any storage facility, or electrical panel. So electrical panel clearance. Then in case if at all you want to go to the top of the machine, there we need a staircase. So what and all will be connecting with that specific equipment we have to cover. Then plan the workplace layout around the process and equipment. This will be how you are allocating the space for the, we have discussed for the point number 3, how you are arranging them in a way that it is not going to obstruct each other, or it is not restricting to work with the other equipment. And plan the final enclosure around the workplace layout. So it is about the enclosures. Some cases it is not required, and some cases it is mandatorily required. So enclosures, based on the requirement, we have to plan the enclosures and use trials to evaluate the alternative and also check the final design. So nowadays everybody is having the technology in place. So they are making the 3D designs and then they are doing a simulation. Once it is the simulation is okay, then they are going for the final implementation of the project. Similar way, once the workplace design is freezed, then we have to look for the alternatives. If it is not working well, then we look for alternative. Once it is going well, then we'll finalize the design and we will implement the project. So with respect to plant layout, what and all to be considered. So if you see the general layout of the plant, we would have seen in many places, or if you're already working, you will have your plant layout, which will be showing you the respective the facilities or the blocks which you have defined, like production, quality, R&D, utility, effluent block, or office building, or admin building, then tank farm area, or storage area, or parking area, or fire hydrant system, or fire hydrant line, or pump house. The similar way, the layout will be, we have to clear that the size, shape, location, construction, building layout, and other facilities should permit efficient utilization of machines, the processes, and the materials. It is mean that if you have a material flow, I'll just take an example. For example, generally what will happen, if you assume this is the shop floor. So here you have many machines, you have 3-4 machines. A, B, C, and D. So whatever the, here I have a store area. So our design or the plant design should be, in the sense, if the material is very heavy, so here I have a track, the material will comes on the trolley and directly I will put on to the machine. So then it will go to the B, then it will go to the C, then it will go to the D. Sometimes what will happen, maybe here the C comes in, then B will be here and D will be here. So it is an unnecessary movement. Again, we are taking back the material, again we are bringing back to that. Or sometimes what will happen, so the store may be somewhere here, the production block here. This is a too much extra transportation of the material. So the final intention is, so whatever the layout we are designing, it should not make us to work extra efforts for doing the manufacturing process. It is simple that whatever the size, location, construction, and building layout or the other facilities will give efficient utilization of machines. So when you say efficient utilization of machines, if you are able to feed the machine properly without keeping them idle 24/7, you are engaging your machines, then those machines also working by 24/7 without any damage, then your equipments are efficient. And also your process also should be efficient. When your process is efficient, so there is no delay in the getting the raw materials from the store to the production, or there is no obstructions, or there is a time delay for getting the raw materials, or there is an issue with the quality of the raw materials, or the analysis which is happening not in my place, I'm sending my samples to the outside laboratory, and he has to confirm. Then only I'll take my product to the next stage. And then materials. Materials, as I mentioned, mostly materials will have issue with respect to the transportation and also handling. So how you are handling your materials, either you are handling by manually, either you are handling by the mechanical aids you are using. So if it is using mechanical aids, what is the distance? Whether it is feasible to use those mechanical equipments, or can I put any conveyor so that I can avoid the man intervention in my material handling process. So all things will comes in. Then layout should be properly planned to allow smooth flow and efficient use of material, methods, process, time cycle, etc. And should allow a good and safe conditions to prevent any accidents. So whatever example I given, it is going to be best suited with this paragraph 2. So the flow should be in a such a way that we can use effectively all the materials, methods, etc. So if you see some other general principles for a good layout, so enough workspace, 2 meters square per person should be provided for the workers to work with without any restriction. So it is allocation space for 2 meters square area per person so that he can work comfortably. Then proper roads, walkways, a track, alleys, trolleys, and also catwalks, etc., should be provided for the free passage of material to avoid delay and obstruction. So this is also very important that wherever you have made your warehouses, so warehouses, what will happen? There definitely will have forklifts or other pallet trucks or battery pallet trucks. So there we have to give a consider space, especially in the curvatures where they will take a turn. Then sufficient doors and windows, the ventilators and open space must be provided for the good ventilation and lighting. So sufficient doors and windows. So if you see here, for the as per the factories act and factories rules, at least 15% of your floor area must be given the ventilation provision, maybe in part of shutters or maybe in part of doors or maybe in part of windows, at least 15%. Then installation of machinery, floors, stairs, lifting machines, electric wiring must be done to ensure safety and allow at least 1 meter space around the machines. So this is also a requirement that at least you have to give a 1 meter space between around the machines for the easy access. And keep handling of materials to the minimum and use mechanical means to reduce the manual strain. So it is apart from manual strain, we can avoid the 80% of incidents, as we seen the contribution for the accidents, which is 80% due to the manual and also 18% due to the unsafe actions and 2% will be the act of God. So here the 80% of incident happens due to the unsafe actions. The more you will mechanize your process, the more man intervention can come down so that we can avoid the accidents and provide safe means of access to the all workplaces. This is also one of the major drawback we will use to notice in workplace. So initially in the project phase, they won't plan for all these things. So whenever any maintenance activity comes in, they will trigger that, "Arey yaar, hum log nahi chad pa raha hai." So we can't able to access that specific area. So this is also clearly understand that while planning the layout itself, we have to know that. So what kind of maintenance requirements? What is the frequency of inspection? What is the frequency of lubrication? So all these things to be considered, and we have to make access for all the workplaces. Then provide safe transport facilities for men and material. So how it can be transported. Maybe some of the companies, they have a huge area. They used to have the battery trucks for the transportation. So for the men material, we have many this thing trolleys or forklifts or battery pallets, then trucks and conveyors, etc. And provide adequate emergency exits. So this is also one of the legal requirement as per the National Building Code and Chapter 4, Fire and Life Support. So there we have in Chapter 4, based on your categorization of the building, they have various parameters for distances from occupancy to what will be the distance to be maintained from emergency exits. purchase and arrange in orderly manner the machines and equipment in built-in safety. So this is also one of the criteria to be considered while purchasing the machines or equipments. We have to check for what kind of safety the skill or what kind of safety controls which the machine is having. Then isolate high noise, vibration, fire and explosion, toxic hazards, designed to workbench, table, and also booth rooms, a booth and also roof, a ladder and also platform, sheet supports, etc. with safety standards to avoid such hazards. Which is about for the based on the process, how we can identify the hazards which are present in our process, then how it can be eliminated. Then allow space for the future expansions based on your requirement. We can choose considering your future expansion plans. Then provide repair and maintenance workshop and welfare facilities and education and training. So it will be a maintenance workshop and welfare facilities, education training facilities will be having a training hall with the proper electronic aids like projector, training hall facilities and AC or fan, whatever it is. Then use appropriate colors, notices, and also signs, labels, and posters for the safety. So here it is about the based on the identified hazards and also the safety requirements. There we have to uh, place or display the safety signs and also hazard signs to do's and don'ts, etc. And provide easy location of fire alarms and also firefighting equipment, personal protective equipment, emergency assembly points, medical center, and safety office. So apart from all this, these requirements are also very important for the firefighting equipment. If it is your process, it is in a fire-prone hazard. Then also PPEs will be the common for whatever the process it is, the personal protective equipment. Then emergency assembly points in case of any emergency, where the people can come and gather. Then medical center, it is up to the size of the facility. Then provide maintenance and good housekeeping. This is also very important that it's housekeeping is also a crucial factor or consideration to avoid especially the fire accidents. Now we'll see what are the other factors of the plant layout and design. One is safe design and construction using safety standards and good engineering practices on availability and updated construction quality and also the standards. Statutory requirements for the plant layout and design. So this is also be followed. Whatever the statutory requirements like fire and all, we used to have if it is a building height is so much or the building floor area is so much. So you have to have the fire hydrant system and also terrace tanks, etc. The similar way we have to look for and the contaminant of leakage and accidents. So we have to check for the contaminant issues. So any leakage happens, how it is going to get contaminated with the other things, or how you are going to avoid that contamination. Then segregation of different risks. So it is about the zone-wise classification as we seen in previous class, zone classification based on the storage of hazardous materials. Then safe storage, process, utilities, and also waste disposal design. So it is about the storage facilities based on, in previously also we have discussed many times the compatibility. So how you are storing your chemicals based on your compatibility. Compatibility in the sense, if you are storing two chemicals together, so they are not going to react with each other. They are okay to be in one place. And safe control room location and design, then emergency control devices, firefighting and gas leak control facilities, and ample water storage. So it is about firefighting and also gas detection. If you are using any specific gas which is toxic or carcinogenic or poisonous, so in case of any leakage happens, so we should able to detect in the early stage, and also we should have the enough amount of water for the suppression in case of any fire incident happens. Then auto controls, alarms, trips and interlocks and necessary safety devices. This is all about all the LCVs and the RCCVs or the breakers which we are talking about. Then railing and handrails at chance or fall. Then a crossover and also moving machineries. So wherever it is required, we should have proper railing so to hold and to cross over the areas, and roads of sufficient width and signs. So whatever the road we have made, it should have sufficient width so that it is not going to congest. And safe loading, unloading, transport and pipeline facilities, security around the clock, and wind direction, also a speed indicator with the recorder to know the wind direction. Here we used to have the wind socks to know the direction based on the colors and also the wind flow. We can understand the per kilometer. Then first aid center and also ambulance one. It is up to the legal requirement. Sometimes they used to have a tie-up with 3-4 units and they used to have, otherwise they used to give the third party as an ambulance service instead of having their own. Okay. This is in a historical data because of bad housekeeping or poor housekeeping, how these accidents have been happened. Others in machinery not moved by the mechanical power, which is 511. A use of hand tools, which is 710. Struck by the falling bodies. So housekeeping in the sense, don't understand in other way. Housekeeping, it is about not about only cleaning or sweeping. It is all about how you are managing your the things. It is, I can say, other way of housekeeping is 5S. How you are sorting your material, how you are keeping your material, how you are maintaining your material, and how you are keeping back, which means how you are sustaining that process. Generally, the 5S is sort, set in order, shine, standardize, and sustain. These are the 5S we can say as one of the best practices or housekeeping practices. Person falling from height, maybe in this also the housekeeping may be a part because the spills have been not cleared immediately or not taken care. Person falling on the flat or person falling into the pits and excavations, stepping on, striking against the objects and handling goods and articles, and others are 3,342. So these all are the various the causes which is resulting in accidents. I will see what are the causes for bad housekeeping. So contributing to the maximum accidents are stepping on or striking against objects. So this is the one, handling goods and articles, struck by the falling bodies, persons falling from height, the persons sleeping on the floor, use of hand tools and also other miscellaneous. With respect to bad housekeeping, these are the major contributors which will resulting in accidents. Now we'll see what are the indicators of bad housekeeping. So what I do is I'll unmute you people. You can identify the unsafe conditions or the bad housekeeping practices here. what you can feel it is unsafe here?
So the exit is blocked, which should not be blocked. It should be free from obstacles.
Okay, fine. This is the one.
And everything is in unorganized way, which should not be.
Mm-hmm.
And the cleaning bucket and the mop, they have kept in between the walking place, and there is no signage as well. So if they are cleaning,
Rajini, it is about the spillage of water.
it's not visible. Yeah, now it's visible,
Yeah.
sir. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Okay.
And
Any other?
the papers are left in the floor,
Okay.
and the wires are not, means the cables are not in organized way.
I can say that it is overloaded.
Yeah,
One junction
overloaded.
box is having multiple, they're drawing more from the one single point. Okay. You stop, Rajini. We'll see from others also how others are
Yes,
thinking,
sir.
how
Yes,
others
sir.
are
Yeah.
looking into.
Okay. Okay.
What about others? You can see any other hazards with respect to this?
Signboards are blocked, sir.
Yes, very good.
And again, one machine.
There is no proper ventilation, sir. Windows are closed.
Okay.
Sir, ఇక్కడ
think
ఒక
this is
కాఫీ కప్ పక్కన మిషన్ ఉంది చూసారా?
It is supposed to be on engineering center. It is unnecessary in the office.
అనేసి నేను వర్క్ షాప్ లో ఉండాల్సింది ఇక్కడ ఆఫీస్ టేబుల్ దగ్గర ఉంది.
Correct.
డస్ట్బిన్ ఆల్సో ఓవర్లోడెడ్, సార్.
Yes.
ఇక్కడ ప్లాంట్ కూడా పెట్టారు పేపర్స్ పైన.
Okay.
ఫ్రూట్స్ కూడా కవర్ చేయలేదు, సార్. Fruits.
Okay, let it be. It is, even though it is not in our concern. Okay, fine. Any other?
So UPS kept in under the table. This electrocution will happen possibility.
Okay, I think it is CPU.
In table it look like it's a laptop, sir.
I don't think so. Okay, so okay, no problem. Any other? Because the laptop will not have this support in the back. That's why I'm thinking it is in a desktop. Okay, you see here, this portion, he has put his coffee cup on here, and this book is in a vertical position. At any point of time, if it touches, it may result in the spill. Even these papers are not organized well. So if you see in a one small workplace, you can find n number of incidents. Even see there are a bunch of papers which are not protected from falling. In case if you're switching on your fan, it starts getting escape from there. Even you manaki egurutu vellipoye chance undi. Okay, good. We'll see one more example. So whenever you go to shop floor, you have to look in a such a way that definitely there is an incident. It is not mean that we'll go with a negative mentality. We have to look for opportunity for improvement. It is not about fault finding. अरे यार क्यों आप लोग housekeeping नहीं किया है, ये अच्छा नहीं है, ये ऐसा है, वो वैसा है. It is not like that. Maybe there are reasons for keeping the situation like that. Maybe they are not having proper tools to keep it, or maybe they are not having provision to organize those materials, or maybe they are not having proper stand or any box to keep it in a such a way so it is not going to obstruct others. Or if any spills happens, maybe they are not aware to whom to clean, or the housekeeping people are not there in that specific shift. So there are n number of causes behind any situation. So we have to understand the situation, then we have to judge. So we should not conclude immediately. Fine. Okay, tell me what we can see here.
Without hand gloves and operating in machine.
Hmm.
First picture, sir,
Okay.
without hand gloves. The cutting wheel is rotating and
Okay, without hand
they are
gloves.
operating.
Okay.
But face shield also is not this.
Mhm.
Another person. Face shield, goggles are face shield not there.
Okay.
Second
What about
picture
others?
is standing on the chairs.
Okay, she's using chair instead of using proper working platform. She's using chair. Okay. I expect one answer from one person or one participant.
सर 4 केबल मैंने है सर नीचे से लेके गया केबल.
ठीक है.
The rack is overloaded, and on behalf of that also she is overloading again with the books and all, sir.
Okay, very good. Third picture, water spillage.
డోర్
Another?
ఓపెన్ అవడం వల్ల తన్నుకొని పడిపోతారు సార్.
Hmm.
సిక్స్త్ దాంట్లో డోర్ ఓపెన్ చేసి ఉంది సార్ ఆ ర్యాక్.
ఏదైతే ఈ వార్డ్రోబ్ ఉందో డోర్ ఓపెన్ ఇది కింద బాటమ్ ర్యాక్ ది మనము
ఆ
ఓపెన్
బాటమ్ ది
చేసేసరికి
ఓపెన్
కింద
అయింది
పడిపోయినాం.
పడిపోయారు సార్.
ఓకే.
అండ్ థర్డ్ పిక్చర్ లో వాటర్ ఉన్నాయని చెప్పేసి జంప్ చేస్తున్నారు సార్.
వాటర్ స్పిల్లేజ్. ఓకే, వాటర్ స్పిల్లేజ్.
వాటర్ స్పిల్లేజ్ ఉంది, అక్కడ అతను జంప్ చేసి వెళ్తుంది.
ఓకే. నాకు చూస్తే ఇక్కడ జంప్ చేసినట్లు లేడు, మనోడు ఆల్రెడీ జారిపోయినట్టున్నాడు. ఎందుకంటే కళ్ళప్పుడు నీళ్ళు వస్తున్నాయి, నేను అయిపోయాను రాని. Okay, with a different way of looking it, either maybe a spillage or he is trying to jump from there to avoid the slippery surface. Okay, any other observations?
జిరాక్స్ మిషన్ కి వీల్ స్టాపర్ లెస్.
జిరాక్స్ మిషన్ కి జనరల్ జిరాక్స్ మిషన్ వీల్ స్టాపర్స్ ఉండవు కదా, దానికి మనకి వీల్ కి చిన్న నాబుల్ అని ఉంటుంది బ్రేక్ లాగా. ఇంకొక మేజర్ అబ్జర్వేషన్ ఉంది,
కటింగ్ మిషన్ కింద వేస్టేజ్ స్టోరేజ్ ఉంది సార్.
ఓకే ఫైన్. ఇది కాకుండానే ఇంకేమన్నా అబ్జర్వేషన్స్ ఉన్నాయా?
సార్ మెషిన్ ఆపరేట్ చేస్తున్నాడు సార్, అది ఎమర్జెన్సీ కింద ఆఫ్ చేయాల్సింది ఇట్ సైడ్ ఉంది. యాక్చువల్లీ అతను ఎట్ సైడ్ అయితే ఆపరేట్ చేస్తున్నాడు, అట్ సైడ్ ఉండాలి.
That is okay. That is okay. But I can't see whether it is exactly an emergency button or not. That is okay.
వర్క్ చేసేటప్పుడు అతనికి ఇంటరప్ట్ చేస్తున్నాడు సార్.
Yes, that is the observation. See, he is shouting on him. That is a very good observation. Okay, the person or supervisor or whoever is coming, he is shouting on the operator. Maybe whatever is the reason, he is interrupting. So due to the interruption, what will happen? Our mindset will change, or we will distract from the activity, resulting that it may leads to accident. So it is all important. Suddenly what will happen? Once we go to the shop floor, suddenly we'll ask the person, he'll get terrified. We should not be like a